Good evening, everyone. So now we are again on the online expert talk, which is conducted by the IQAC ISFCP Moga. Today we are having a very eminent personality of the pharmacy profession, Dr. Garima Garg. Dr. Garima Garg is currently working as a principal in MIET college. She has also worked in the various colleges like the TMU. She is having the very good research experience. Till date, she has published many international and national publication of impact factor around 50. She is having the one patent on her credential, and she is only having the two technology transfer to the pharmaceutical industry till date. Currently, she is working as a principal in the MIET college, MIET Meerut. So this is the research credential about the Dr. Garima Garg. Her area of interest is in the oral thin film, and we are expecting with this lecture that today we are going to have a knowledge about the thin film, how we can prepare, what is the concept, what are the advantages and disadvantages, all things. So this lecture would be the very beneficial to all PG students and as well as the PhD students who want to pursue their research work in the oral thin film. So without wasting the time, since we are having the time limitation because this lecture is going to be uploaded in the YouTube, so I am directly inviting to the Dr. Garima Garg. Ma'am, welcome you. You spare the time for this platform. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nitin, Professor Nitin. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the chairman, sir, Mr. Praveen Garg, Professor G.D. Gupta, Director, Moga, ISF Moga, Professor R.K. Narangji, Vice Principal, ISF Moga, and also my dear former colleague, Professor Nitin Sharma, to give me this opportunity to talk about the oral thin films, because this is a very interesting topic, not only for me, but for the upcoming researcher. So without wasting my time, I will start with my lecture and I will be sharing the screen with you. Just a moment. Can you see the screen?
No, madam.
No? Okay. Just a moment. Just one moment, please. Give me a moment.
मैम बॉटम में जो सर्कल बने हैं इसमें एक लाइक हैंड वाला जो सर्कल है उसके जस्ट बगल में प्रेजेंट नाउ
आ रहा है इसमें? एक मिनट, मैंने कर दिया सर क्लिक, वो प्रेजेंट नाउ कर चुकी हूँ मैं. कुछ अटक शेयर ऑडियो. 1 minute. I have to cancel it once again. I have to go. It's okay now.
Oh.
Can you see the screen now?
No, madam, not yet.
Yes, I think now it's okay. Now it's okay, I think. Okay.
No, madam, you're not presenting from your side. Yes,
Okay.
now you are presenting.
Now,
Now it's okay,
can you
madam.
get the screen? Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
please continue.
So the concept we have with the oral thin films, as you all know, that the oral thin films, the concept or the idea of oral thin film originated from basically very early in 90s, 1970s. So, as you all know, oral drug delivery system is still the gold standard. You can say most of the formulations we are having are still the oral formulation. Oral route of drug delivery is still the most preferred route of the drug delivery. So, what happened with the, but there are some issues which are related with the oral drug delivery system, which is most common is the tablets. The swallowing of the tablet, the especially for the pediatric patients, geriatric patient, and the patients who are having the epilepsy or other conditions, or are difficult, they have found the difficulty in swallowing the tablets. So, and patient compliance is much better with the ease of administration. So we have started the people thought about the alternative, and we came with the oral thin films bar. So if you see in currently the market research report is giving the data that currently in 2021 US has 2.9 billion valued oral thin films market is valued, and it is expected to grow at the rate of 9.3% during the period of 2022 to 2031. And this comparative market is driven by a number of factors, which means increase in the demand of the patient friendly and the convenient drug delivery system, rising prevalence of the chronic diseases, increasing investment in the research and development of the oral thin films. But this particular oral thin films especially found very high acceptance in the US market as compared to the European market, as this particular technology is first introduced in the US. In India, new enzyme laboratories are the frontiers in the manufacturing of oral thin films. Now we go into why there is a need to understand the oral thin films. That's why we have discussed the oral thin film market. So now what is actually the oral thin films? Oral thin films are the type of drug delivery system that is made up of thin flexible film that is placed in the mouth. The film dissolves very quickly and delivers the drug directly into the bloodstream. Now, the advantages of oral thin films is they can be manipulated and they're extremely versatile in their usage. They can be used for the local action as well as for delivery, systemic delivery of the drugs. They are patient friendly and easy to use. I think most of us have seen around us, or seen in the when we were small, we all find someone there in our family who have find the difficulty in swallowing the tablet, and thus it leads to the non compliance or inability to take the drug. So, if we found in the oral thin film form, it is easier to take the medication. They are fast dissolving, which means their drug is delivered quickly and efficiently. But the thing is, not only this formulation or the thin films can not only be used for the immediate release, they can be used very well by modifying the formulation design for the controlled release also. We will get to it later on. As we say, they can be customized to deliver the specific dose of the drug. The thin films are extremely precise. The dosing is extremely precise. Now, what are the opportunities? As I have discussed earlier, the market. What are the opportunities when already there are oral tablets? You can say the tablets are there. Why we are moving on to thin films? Because the additional advantage, not only as a patient a person is having, but industries, what are the opportunities available for the industry? One of the thing is the based on the biological equivalence, new oral film products can be used interchangeably with the conventional oral tablet formulation. All the medications which are available in the conventional oral tablet form can be converted into the oral thin film formulations. No new non-clinical clinical data other than bioequivalence study data was required for the approval of these oral film products. As you know, approval cycle is extremely long process. So this provides a shorter period for the acceptance or the approval of the new products. Patents application on oral films, more than 11, are filed in India and which are in granted and published state of patenting process. Patent application filed for the sublingual films in India indicate their differentiation and higher efficacy compared to other oral formulation in terms of oral systemic absorption, significantly reduced drug load and avoidance of first pass effects. Numerous expiring drugs, patent expiring drugs developed and approved as the oral films application could garner the market exclusivity period given its novelty and type of application. Now you have to understand this is new dosage form 505B2. Now you can understand this is the new drug application. I think most of you are familiar with this. In case you are not, I would like to clarify what is 505B2. Okay. What happens here? You don't when you are going on for the approval, you don't have to go in for the any toxicity studies because the drug is already approved in different dosage form like tablets. So the overall the time period for the approval is very short for the very short duration during the period. So, and as you know, most of the drug during these years, some of the drugs are going out of patent. So, advantage for the industry, they can extend their patent for at least 3 to 5 years. If they go in through, if they formulate their product or the patented drug in the oral thin film forms. Next is the what are the problem, but when you are going in for the whenever you are going in for the new formulation like oral thin film, there are certain problems associated with it. So what are the problems associated with it? The first of the problem is the loading, the problem of loading the drug. In the case of the drug's
Ma'am,
amount is very high.
still your slide is showing the opportunities.
Okay, just a moment.
Please take down your slide with the cursor, ma'am.
एक मिनट, एक मिनट. There are, I think some stuck is there. Something is stuck. Skip.
Ma'am, you please continue without the slide.
Okay. So what happens? The problem with the just a moment. If I can share. Now you got the slide. Okay. So
Yes,
the
ma'am. Now it's
difficulty in incorporating the water insoluble drugs and relatively smaller drug loads. You cannot upload a very large amount of dose in the film. Okay. Another is the because the film is extremely thin, and so there is a difficulty in having the problem of hydro, you can say, the moisture can enter the films. The rate and the extent of the dissolution and the target site of absorption influence the oral film compositions. Third is the acceptable mechanical parameters to ensure the flexibility and robustness of the film. That is, the film has to be flexible, otherwise there are chances it will break. Okay. Suitable methods for the effective testing. The problem is we have just introduced with the oral thin film, so there are there is no standard methods or available for the testing of the in vitro testing for the drugs. Not the specific standard method for this disintegration or dissolution is available. Pharmacopoeial monographs for oral film products are not available globally, although there is a mention of the oral thin films as the oromucosal films in the European pharmacopoeia. But still, the standards for that are not available. Now, what is now we start with what is the concept, how the concept, what are the basic principles involved in the drug delivery system. So you have to understand the film, whatever film we are making is the it must be biocompatible and biodegradable because we are consuming it. Okay. Secondly, it should be thin enough to dissolve quickly in the mouth. Third, it should be able to retain the drug in the stable form until it dissolves. Fourth, it should be able to deliver the drug to the desired target site in the body. Now, you should understand that although the film is dissolving, we can definitely use it for the variable purposes. For example, you can use the you can diversify, you can control the release of the drug. How you can do it? You can prepare an immediate release drug, and you can have another layer with the controlled release or slow release of the drug. It means a film can be multi-layered also, so that will give you the immediate release and the sustained release over the period of time. So the fluctuation which we find in our frequency of drug administration, or you can say the sustainable drug dose can be delivered to the patients. Okay. Another thing is when you are using how what are the various components of oral thin films. Okay, the first of the components, I think the diagram is clear to you. Can you see it on the screen? So
Yes,
if you
madam.
can see the oral films, if okay, this is the oral films. There are basically the base of the oral thin films is a polymer. Okay, and the polymer can be natural polymer as well as synthetic polymers like HPMC, PVA, that is polyvinyl alcohol, and it can be the PVP, polyvinyl pyrrolidine, polyethylene glycol. All these components can be used in the preparation of the film. And the oral thin films, when you consider the oral film films, you can classify it as a mucoadhesive films as well as orodispersible films. Mucoadhesive film, which will stuck to your buccal or mucosa, while the orodispersible films are the one which will dissolve or disperse within the saliva or the oral cavity. So the first major component is the polymer. So polymers, some of the which are most commonly used polymers are polyvinyl alcohol, polyethylene glycol, HPMC. Now HPMC can be of different grades, and depending upon the thickness and the viscosity, you can select your HPMC. You can HPMC E5, you can HPMC of 50. Okay, all these you can select. Then the cellulose acetate. The choice of polymer, as you can know, choice of polymer will definitely depend upon the which drug is to be delivered, whether it is compatible with the polymer or not. What are the desired properties of the film, whether you want immediate release, whether you want delayed release. Okay, what is the how, whether the solvent, with the solvent system it is compatible or not, what we are using. Next is the drugs. What type, what in which forms drugs can be incorporated. Now if the solubility of the drug is good, you can use the dissolved drug. You can also use, not only use the dissolved drug, you can also use the microparticles. You can first prepare the microparticles, then you suspend it in the polymer solution. Okay, and then you can cast the film over a surface. Now next is, you can not only cast the microparticles, you can also add the nanoparticles. Okay, so this will in variety of form, even micro emulsions have been incorporated in the form of films or in the oral thin films. So you can understand that the oral thin films is basically a carrier which can, in multiple ways, it can transport or or it can deliver the drugs. Okay, and the second most important is the solvent system. Now with the biological solvents, biological system, you know, the water is the most compatible. So many of the polymers like the starch, you can also use starch, pulan. These are the polymers which are biocompatible also, and they are soluble in water or the hydroalcoholic solutions. Second, very popular solvent is the ethanol. Again, water and ethanol combination is very good, not only for the dissolving the drugs, but also for some many of the polymers. Next is the polyethylene glycol. Polyethylene glycol is not only a solvent system, but it also acts as a co-solvent for the drugs. Another is propylene glycol. Now, these both not only act as the solvent or the co-solvent, but they also act the plasticizer. Now, understand this. When we talk about the oral film, you have prepared the polymer solution. Now you have prepared, you have casted it on a surface. Okay. Now, when you have casted it on a surface, what happens when you are drying it? Drying it, for the film to have certain flexibility, it needs to have some moisture in it. Okay, if the polymer separates or precipitates out from the film, it will be dry, it will become dry and brittle. So these polyethylene glycol, glycerin, propylene glycol, all these you can say co-solvents, they act as the plasticizer also, improving the flexibility of the drug. Now these are the basic various other factors which, now understand another thing. Now these are the two, you have the polymer, you have the drug, you have the solvent, but what else? Now if the drug is bitter, because you are keeping it in the mouth, you need to have certain sweetening or flavoring agent, otherwise the acceptance will go down. Okay, you won't be your patient or the person is will not take the medication if it is not suitably, because your film is coming in the contact with your taste buds. So you need to add certain sweetening and flavoring agent. Other than that, sometimes you might have to add another excipients like surfactants to improve the wettability of the film. Also, sometimes for the taste masking, we use complexing agents cyclodextrin, which are more popular for that. Now, these is the formulations. And what will be the steps involved in the oral thin films? first together in the form of, now these are all should be in very fine form because they are to be dispersed in the final film. So you will mix them together or in a solvent, you will melt them together.
अब कल
Now,
देंगे.
second is the deposition of the thin film. They will be then be have deposited on the material. And this deposition of film can be done by casting, spraying, or once the film is cast, what happens? You have to remove the moisture from the film, or you have to dry the thin film. So the thin film is then dried to remove the solvent or the melt. And this is done by evaporation, heat transfer, or combination of both. Sometimes, if there is a need, then the thin film can be coated also with the film former or the polymer, which might help to protect the film from moisture and other environmental factors. Okay. Now, one of the important factors is the process of casting of oral thin films. Now, there are basically 4 processes: melt casting, solvent casting, electro spraying, and hot melt extrusion process. Now,
Excuse me,
most
ma'am.
popular at the lab scale is the solvent casting method. Okay. Yes.
Garima ma'am, actually, we are crossing the time limit and the video is become the heavy.
Okay. Okay. Just one minute. One
Right,
minute I will
right.
take. So this is the equipment which is used for the solvent casting, that is at the industrial scale. As you can see, at one area you have entered the solution, film solution formulation. Now it moves, it is casted on this roll simultaneously. Continuous process is there. Now it is
क्या हुआ डॉक्टर साहब? लगता है नेट चला गया मैडम का.
मुझे भी ऐसा लग रहा है सर.
सलालुद्दीन ठीक, ये उसमें हमें जोड़ लेना सलालुद्दीन वाले में. नहीं, सीनियर बंदा है यार, पहले से बता देना, थोड़ा रिस्पेक्ट बराबर मिले बंदे को.
अच्छा बोलते हो कि वो ऑफिस से देते हैं. सर बहुत ही शानदार प्रोफेसर मिले हैं, सईद करके, फ्रॉम कैलगरी, कनाडा, प्रोफेसर ऑफ मेडिसिन एंड थेरापेटिक्स.
और एसोटेक्स का कोई अपने पास
ये है सर. इनके सर फार्मडी के लिए गेस्ट, मतलब
Okay.
जैसे प्रोफेसर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस एक आया ना कॉन्सेप्ट, ये बहुत बढ़िया. इन्हें किताबें भेजी लेटेस्ट सर अभी ऑनलाइन में.
ये खरे यही है आज इनका लेक्चर 4 तारीख को 4. इसमें नाम कुछ और लिखा आ रहा है, यहाँ लिखा गरिमा खरे, किसी की और के
हो
उससे
सकता है
Ma'am, I think there is some problem with the network, but
Yeah, there is some problem.
but
It's okay
whatever
now?
the information you convey for the oral film, I think that is the extraordinary, and till till till
सभी
time,
लोगों
whatever
को
the
आ जाएगी
information
हार्ड कॉपी
we have conveyed, that is
Okay.
the sufficient for the students who want to pursue the research work in the oral film drug delivery system. Since we are having the time constraints and that this video is become lengthy, that's why I would like to request director sir, please conclude the session.
Dr. Nitin ji, I think, do you want to, if you can want a last comment on this slide, madam, or we can
Yes,
conclude?
definitely.
Yes, please. You
Thank you,
can
sir.
take your 2-3 minutes, please, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Because this is the most interesting part.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
right now, what is going on, that now we have come to the area developed in such a way, oral thin films, that they can be printed with the inkjet printer. So most of the work is going on like that, and multi-layered films can be produced using inkjet printer as well as 3D printing technique. Now these are the two commercial projects I'm sharing with you. This is the packaging. This is the two commercial products which are now popular. One is the nicotine film, which are mouth dissolving film for the withdrawal of the smoking cessation. It is used, and second is this loxapine oral thin films, which is used especially for the patients with the schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. And another drug is now in the clinical trials, Paxital, which is used for the cancer, which is very popular now, which is going to be commercialized soon. So I think there's n number of opportunities, because I think simplifying the dosage form is the best way, because all of we are going to age at some time. Okay, so this is the one field. Oral thin films is the one area which can be used very versatilely. You can play with it. Any formulator can play with it very well. So I will encourage the students to look into it, find the simpler solution to the problems you find your nearby. That is the most significant, and which can be commercialized. So those things you should go into. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Gupta sir, for giving this opportunity.
वो 4 बजे
And
कंप्लीट करना
hopefully
तो
today we will interact practically also. So thank you, Nitin.
So thank you very much,
for,
madam. So thank you very much, madam. I know that when the slide is the moving, and obviously the speaker sometimes slightly disturb, what you have concluded very excellently, and the presentation and what is the actual work you did. This is the presented in the form of the thin film, and I know that nowadays this types of the dosage form and this types of the films are very useful for the number of the purposes and number of the formulation available in the market. So this is the also one of the good area for the scientist to do the work. So first of all, I welcome you, madam, at ISF College of Pharmacy, and thankful to you for accepting our invitation and give your remarkable research work over here, and your this types of the topic, it will be the useful for the commercial purpose, because I know that when we are
Yes.
talking about some of the big project like the work on the cancer and so many particular types of the disease, but sometime it will take the long time, because I know that after the M-Pharm students submit 2 and 3 paper and then move toward that. But this types of the project as a short-term project, and application is the very strong. So thank you very much, madam, and I am thankful to our IQAC team. Thanks to Dr. Nitinji for provide this opportunity to interact Dr. Garima Garg ji, and I hope that whenever you have visit the Punjab, welcome madam at ISF College of Pharmacy, and I hope that this types of the talk and your talk, it will be the useful to the all scientists, and the purpose behind of this is the ISF dialogue series to interact and involve some of the good scientists, those who are doing the work on the down to earth. So the main purpose, let us consider, even I am on the online mode, what we are the just like feel that to interact to you, Dr. Garmaji over here. So this types of the familiar and the professional is the required. And I mentioned over there, Dr. Pooja Chawla, she is working over here, and I have given one suggestion. You can talk about to the women from throughout the India, those who are working in the pharmacy profession, and show the strength how the women is doing the work in the research, in the industry, in academia, in hospital, and clinical research that type. So I hope that in the coming days we can develop one of the group only for the women. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Nitin. Thank you, Nitin.